Hello everybody and welcome to our Lan Handling webinar about food safety. My name is Milou and today we have a talk with our colleague Jurgen Cox. He is our supervisor software and electrical engineering. Food safety is a hot topic these days, and if you have any questions during this webinar, feel free to ask them in the chat. Hi Jurgen, how are you?
Hi, Milou, I'm good, thanks. Today I'd like to tell you something about something that's not always visible, and that's the software of a line, because we do a lot of things inside the software to make sure the product leaves the factory in a safe way.
And if I understand correctly, we see the pouch handling system in the background in our workshop.
Yes, that's correct. We're testing the line at this very moment. So yeah, in the background you can see it moving from time to time.
Yes, that's great.
So what's the challenge? We have a lot of machinery inside the factory, loaders, a transport area and transfer stations. A lot of product going from the left to the right side, unsterilized and sterilized product, and we have to make sure all the product leaves the plant in a safe way.
The part of Lan Handling has to deal with making sure that no contamination between sterilized and unsterilized products is possible, right?
Yes, that's a very, very important part of our line. Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to start at the left side with the loader. First of all, we get information from the filling machine about the batch. A lot of information that we get from our customers to say, well, we want this and this traced through the line, and we store that with the product.
This is also about product type, flavor.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, all those things. Okay. Everything is possible with that. We can also do a check with barcode reader that we install on our lines to make sure, as an extra validation, to make sure that when the stack is at a different position, we still talk about the same stack.
So customers can choose that by themselves.
Yes,
if they want to do it.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a double check.
Okay.
And last but not least, we also check if the product that's inside the loader, if it's not there too long, because it's unsterilized product and it has to be inside the retort within a certain amount of time. So we can give a pop-up message on the screen if the product is almost at that time.
But why are we exactly doing that? Because the products are being filled, and what happens if they are filled and they are not on time in the retort?
Well, the product needs to be in time in the retort to make sure it's sterilized soon enough.
Okay. Because otherwise it's exploding, or?
Yeah, otherwise the product is not good anymore.
Okay.
So it cannot be go
to the supermarket.
To the supermarket.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. That's interesting. So you told me something about a pop-up
Mm-hmm.
on the HMI screen?
Yes, that's right. So the operator gets a pop-up to know the product is bad, and then it's up to what the customer wants. So we can do it fully automated and send the product towards the retort without waiting for a reaction of the operator. But a lot of customers want a validation at this point by the operator to make sure, okay, somebody noticed as well that the product is maybe bad. So it can be an operator action as well to send it towards the retort.
It's also because of the waiting time is being exceeded, right?
Yes.
So it's not bad at that moment, but it has to be as soon as possible into the retorts.
Yeah, and a lot of times there need to be done extra checks to still make sure that the product is okay. So the next area is the transport and shuttle area. It's a big area and an important area as well, because there it's possible that the product would go to the wrong position, and that's of course not a good thing.
No, that's not a good thing.
So first of all, we check on every position in the line. If the stack has moved from one position to the other, we also check if the data is still matching with that position. And the next thing is the shuttle. So the shuttle will bring the unsterilized product to the retort, and the sterilized product from the retort towards the packaging, the transfer stations, or the unloader, which goes to the packaging. First of all, we make sure that it's only possible for the shuttle to do a task when there's a from and a to position. So unsterilized product will only be picked up when we can bring it towards the retort, and it's one task. So it's never possible to get a task for the shuttle which brings the unsterilized products towards the packaging. So you can see that by these lines on on the screen. So one task would be the yellow arrow, and another task is the green arrow. Straight to from left to right, that's not possible.
Okay, it always the stacks always have to move to the retorts first, and then that's the only way they can go through the line.
Yeah, that's only possible way. Even when it's done in manual by the operator, it's not possible to give the shuttle a task with unsterilized products going to the packaging.
So let's dive a bit more deeper into the retort shuttle, because I'm thinking of a plant in which a lot of people are loading the retorts by hand, manually with a trolley or something. There's always, human mistakes are always possible. And with the Lan retort shuttle, that is not possible anymore, right?
It's not possible. Even, of course, it's possible for an operator to intervene. So perhaps they say, well, this product we don't want it to go to retort 1, but it has to go to retort 2 because we found out something is wrong with retort 1. So it's possible for the operator to intervene in the process, but it's never possible for the operator to send product
directly to the packers.
To the packers, yes.
Okay, and on this screen I see a double retort shuttle. Is that always necessary?
No, it's not really necessary because we already guard that
with our
with the shuttle tasks. So it's in the software. It's already made sure that it's not possible to send product straight to the packaging.
So the double shuttle is a bit like a double safety check.
Yes, that's right. The next thing is the retorts. We do a lot of checks. Of course, the process is done by our partners who design and build the retorts, but we do a lot of checks as well. And first check is that we check if the sequence is followed in the right order. So first of all, the door needs to be closed. Then we need to see that the process is started. Until the last, of course, we need to see that the process is finished. Stacks need to be marked good or bad. So we check if that's all done in the right order.
Yeah. So we check if all those steps are matching the parameters who are.
Yes, that's right. And if we would get a signal, well, this product is good, before we even close the door, we're not going to do anything with that and say, well, something went wrong over there. The next is that we also check the times. So we check the loading time and the end time and see if that time was long enough. So if there was a time, the signal was given 5 minutes after closing the door, we say, well, this is not correct. It needs to be the minimum of, for example, a half hour or an hour, depending on the product. And of course, at the end, we get a signal from the retort supplier that the product is good or bad, and we mark that in our data system as well. So we see inside the system at every position if the stacks were processed in a good way.
Okay, so we can work with any retort supplier?
Yes, we can work with any retort supplier, and it's important that in the first phase of our project that we define the interface with them. To make sure that we talk about the right signals and the same signals.
Regardless of the retort type, the amount of doors, if it's all that kind.
Yeah, we can work with different kind of suppliers. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the last part of the line is in this case a transfer station. This customer wants to keep to store the pouches in plastic trays, but a lot of times that can be the unloader which goes directly to the packaging, and we can do the same checks with an unloader or a transfer station. We have to make sure that the product is separated, so every batch is run towards the warehouse, and once all the product is gone, we start with a new batch. We can send the information of that product that's went to the warehouse as well, so we can send it to the packer or the MES system of our customers.
Okay.
We also have to make sure that the tray is empty, and we can do that in different ways. First of all, we can tilt the trays to make sure that all the pouches that are left behind leave the tray and fall into a bin. So that's one way. But that of course takes some time. So what we can do as well is make a picture of each tray and only tilt the trays that have still pouches in there.
Okay, to speed up the capacity of the transfer station.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, and we have to make sure the trays are empty because the empty trays return to the front of the process.
Yes, that's right. We reuse the trays at the loader, so we have to make sure that there are no pouches behind. because of course then we can get a mix of old and new pouches, and we don't want that.
Okay, Jürgen, so if I understood you correctly, we are making a picture from the tray to ensure the tray is empty, right?
Yes, that's right. We have to make sure that there's no mix-up at the loader, so all the product that's left behind in the tray, we have to make sure that it's gone.
Okay, okay. And when making a picture from above, I think, that could be a bit challenging, I think, because of the light pollution that occurs sometimes in a production facility.
You're right about that. We see a lot of times that the light changes throughout the day, or a lot of light pollution can be inside of the factory. So that's why we're testing something new here together with our partners to see if we can get a better result. And the results so far are quite positive.
Okay, that's good to hear. So if any of the audience has more questions about that new vision system during the tray tilting, they can contact you as well?
Yes, of course. Feel free to ask any questions.
Okay. So last thing, the product sampling.
Yes, last thing, that we can also do a fully automated product sampling. So the robot that picks up the pouches and moves through the inline dryer can also drop one of the pouches from that layer, and then we transport it with a conveyor outside of the unloader or transfer station. So the customer can do tests with that to make sure the product is okay.
Okay. So and the product sampling can be fully automated as well. For example, you can say every fourth stack we do a few products to sample.
Yes, we can say, for example, from every new batch or from every new stack, it's possible to
automate
vary
it
with that and to automate that, of course.
And you can also do it manually, or would you prefer automate?
Manually is also possible if the operator says, well, I want an extra sample from this batch. That would be possible as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jürgen, for this very interesting presentation about food safety.
You're welcome, Milo.
So, if any of you have more questions about food safety, then please send them via the chat and we will answer them as soon as possible. If you have any other questions or do you want to get in touch with Lan Handling or Jürgen Cox, please send an email to info@lanhandling.com. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.